And some of them are good, and it's great to have those. And then some of them are bad, and some of them hold us back. And some of them are negative, and some of them are judgmental, and some of them are selfish. And so we have to become aware of the thoughts that we have. And it's great to have a child now, because I've been saying this type of stuff for years, but now I can look at my son. I remember not long ago, I was looking at him, and my wife was talking to him, and he was staring at me, and I took my hand and I was looking at him, and he was looking at me, and I pointed to the left where my wife was. And I was trying to point to my wife, and he was just looking at me, wasn't looking over to my left to see my wife, because he didn't even have, he came with all of the hardware, but the software hasn't been installed. The program of when I do this with my hand and I point to the left, that means turn your head, and I'm going to get rid of the patterns that I no longer want, and I'm going to repattern. That's our decision. You can either decide that you want to keep them, or you can decide that you want to get rid of them and change them. And so I'm going to teach you a very simple, very, very simple formula to repattern and reprogram yourself. And it comes in an acronym. It's very simple. It's APR, okay? The A stands for awareness. I need to become aware now, in this moment, listening to this podcast episode, of the things that I want to change. And you can, as soon as we get done with this podcast episode, you can turn me off, and then you can just journal through it. What are the things that I want to change within myself? I need to become aware now, so that I can start to come up with a plan, checking in with myself before every single meal or every snack, so that I can be more mindful of my eating, so that that's not so automatic. Let's say that you are somebody who procrastinates, right? Well, in the moment when you notice that you're delaying starting a task and you're trying to distract yourself in some sort of way, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna commit to the 2-minute rule, which is where I find that task, whatever it is, no matter how big or how long it can take, and I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna set my timer for 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna work on it for 2 minutes. And then I'm gonna use that momentum, and if I want to continue to carry on, I can. And so each time procrastination arises, implement this 2-minute rule so that I can begin the task, and I can just start the task, because ultimately it's usually not, once we're in it and we're working on something, it's not that big of a deal. But it's the starting of the task that ends up being it seems so daunting for us. So when I notice myself procrastinating, I'm gonna say, what is the thing I need to do? I'm gonna set my timer for 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna say, go. I'm gonna just do this thing for 2 minutes, and that's it, okay? Let's say that you want to improve your communication in your relationships. And so your awareness might be that you notice when you start to become very defensive in a conversation. So I notice I'm in a conversation, I notice my body's starting to get kind of activated, I'm starting to feel a little bit pissed off or stressed, and I'm being defensive in a conversation. My practice, okay, what's my practice gonna be? My practice is I'm gonna take a deep breath, and then I'm gonna say, hey, can you help me understand your perspective before responding? So therefore, I don't just immediately lash out at somebody, because I could just be seeing something incorrectly. But when I notice myself starting to activate, my body activating, oh my God, I'm about to get pissed off, I'm gonna take a deep breath. This is my practice. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm just gonna say, hey, can you help me understand your perspective before I respond to anybody? And over time, this approach will start to replace this defensive reaction